Hello. In this interaction session, we will be mostly having some discussion on the GATE program or the GATE exam that will be the options for food technology people, like the people who are doing BE or BTech in food technology, what scope they are having after they are finishing their BTech program, and at the same time what are the options if they are interested to take GATE. Before going into the details, let me give you a very consolidated information. I am quite sure that by now all of you must be having very clear information that what is a gate, what does this actually mean, why we should take gate. But I think definitely it will be helpful for you if we have a very consolidated discussion on the entire thing that will be helping you out to take very important decisions regarding your career. So as you all know, GATE is a competitive exam in India, that is graduate aptitude test in engineering, and those people who are having a dream to take some higher studies, like after finishing your BTech and B programs, if you are interested to go for your higher studies, mostly MTech, that is the PG programs, you need to write GATE exam. So the obvious question that comes from the perspective of food technology people, that what paper they should actually opt while writing GATE. By now, I think you all have gone through by different papers that are being offered by the GATE committee. Maybe it's aerospace engineering, maybe biotechnology, and likewise. But interestingly, food technology does not have this single GATE paper option. So, unlike all many other disciplines, food technology, I am writing FT, they actually do not have the option of a single integrated paper. Instead, this option is not there for food technology people. So what are the options? There are two papers formerly known as XE and XL. This is engineering sciences and this is life sciences. So this is a very unique attribute for the GATE paper that applies for those students who are pursuing their undergraduate 4 years bachelor's program in food technology. So this you need to be very clear on, that you cannot opt for a single integrated paper unlike most of the disciplines being offered by GATE, but instead you need to choose either XE or XL. So the very obvious question comes, what are the components of these two papers? The thing is, the subject list being offered for XE and XL will be definitely available on internet. I am not going into the details, just the take-home messages. Under XE, you have to opt for 3 papers, and at the same time, under XL, you have to opt for 3 papers. Out of which, those who are opting for XE, they have number 1, mathematics as compulsory paper. The same thing for XL people would be chemistry as compulsory paper. I am for the time being skipping the second paper that I will be discussing later, and the third option that is common for both the stream is food technology. That means what the take home message is, under XE you have a list of subjects like thermodynamics, like polymer science and technology, etc. Similarly, under life science there are a list of papers like biochemistry, microbiology, botany, etc. etc. So, to continue, as I mentioned that there will be multiple options under both XE and XL, out of which you have to opt for total 3 papers. So, the number 1 thing is there will be one compulsory paper, obviously where you do not have any option. So, you definitely have to write for maths for XE, and similar thing for XL is the chemistry one. Done. I am skipping the second one. Obviously, the third option will be definitely food technology, because you are from a food technology background. It will be definitely giving you advantage if you are opting for this paper. So done. And this for the second paper, you have multiple options. As for Excel, you have botany, microbiology, zoology, etc., biochemistry, etc. Similarly, for XC, you have options like thermodynamics, polymer science, etc. That you need to decide, but our previous experience says those people who are taking the BTech in food technology, the good option for Excel is microbiology, and similar thing for XC is thermodynamics. But definitely the thing is, this will be at your discretion. You can select any of the papers between this. So this is done. Now, the obvious question that I keep on getting personally is, since you have two options for XC and Excel, which one to take? This is the obvious thing. Instead of asking me or any of your supervisors, mentors, rather this should be asked to yourself, because you think ultimately you will be writing the exam, so you need to check which is your strong point. If you think I am confident about mathematics and at the same time this paper is being opted for XC, go for it. If you think no, I am not that much confident with mathematics, rather chemistry is my cup of tea, then you go for Excel. So the final thing is, this paper will be common for both the streams. Depending on the syllabus or the modules being provided for these two segments, you need to decide. So before opting for XC or Excel, the basic exercise that you need to do obviously is go through the syllabus of XC and Excel and identify which subjects are your cups of tea. Accordingly, you have to select, yes, I will be writing for XC and Excel, right? The obvious question, suppose you have finalized, I will be going for Excel or I will be going for XC. The next option comes, or rather the question that comes, that if I have a score in Excel or XC, does this restrict me from some of the programs? This is the thing that you need to decide, because this particular things is decided on a case-to-case basis. You will be finding some specializations at your MTech level where they prefer Excel score. There are some specializations that they are preferring XC score. But please keep in mind, do not run after the specialization, but you check what are your strong points. Because say for example, XX is an institute, premier institute, where I want to pursue say food process engineering. Suppose in your year you are finding food process engineering in an XX premier institute, they are allowing only XE, not Excel. Say for example, but please remember this is a very random example. But so if you think, oh my god, this is a very premier institute and they will be not giving me option for Excel, okay, let's write XE. I want to read in this institute. And finally you ended with what? You could not qualify. So this is the only deciding factor you need to ask yourself. Do not go with that, but ask yourself which subjects are at your confidence point. Accordingly, you have to select either for XC or Excel. But yes, on a personal experience, I would share one thing. The general trend is mostly who are having this food technology curriculum, most of the people are finding that Excel subjects are more inclined to the syllabus which they are getting exposure during their BTech curriculum. So I hope this part is clear to you and you will be able to now decide what should be your papers of option, either Excel or XC. In the previous session, once we discussed in details about the choice of your paper, those who are studying food technology. So there we discussed that what should be your deciding factor. You need to ask yourself to go for XC or for Excel. In today's session, now we will be discussing about the marks. The first take-home message is, in order to have access to a good premier institute in India, you must be having a handsome score in GATE. So the obvious question, what is an handsome score? As you all know that for a competitive exam, you cannot exactly define what is a handsome score. So instead, let's do some relative discussion. Being an exam, definitely GATE is having a maximum marks. So yes, the full marks for GATE is 100. Now, here a small question comes that as we mentioned already that for XE or Excel you need to opt for 3 different papers. So what will be the weightage of marks? That information is absolutely available in the GATE website. You can definitely check, look at the marking scheme. What my thing is, we will be focusing that out of that 100 marks, what should be our target in order to have a good score. So, definitely the range is from 0 to 100. So, as I already mentioned, I cannot exactly say what should be an ideal handsome score, but here we will be taking advantage of some statistics. Generally, it is found that for XE or Excel, the cutoff score comes in the range of, say for example, 25 to 32 or sometimes 35, like this. So if you are having a marks over this, you are qualifying. If you have below this, you are not qualifying. So your first target should be to target a marks. Please point it out here, marks. I'm now not talking about score but marks. I am elaborating it on later. So your first target should be to bring the marks which will be crossing at least 35. Now what the second target would be? Again, I will be taking advantage of the data from past few years. If you are reaching a marks, say for example 60 around or in the range between 45 to 60, it can be concluded you will be finding a fairly decent score. But again, if somebody is getting 70, it is better. If it is absolute 100, it is absolute case, it is possible. It's not impossible, but yes, as a average information, you can consider to target 60 out of 100. Now, the last question comes, why I am talking about marks. So for that, you need to know a few more things. While evaluation, there are multiple terminologies used by the GATE committee. We start with marks, you have score, you have rank, you have percentile, etc. Now, since if XE and Excel are not the only paper, there are multiple papers. So, to calculate score, rank and percentile, the GATE committee uses a very complicated statistical formula where the contributions from the highest marks of different fields, how many candidates are appearing, all these are considered. Like say for example, say in your year XE is being obtained by 10,000, these are again random values. Say Excel are being written by 15,000, say BT is taken by 20,000 and so on. So depending on highest marks of this, how many candidates are opting for, all these things will be contributing in calculation of score, rank and percentile. That means after writing while you are writing the exam, you cannot actually predict what will be your score, percentile and rank. Only thing is, since it is based on 100 marks paper, you can only calculate what can be your marks output. Say for example, you have written 10 answers for 2 marks each, you can say yes, I am confident about getting 20 and likewise. So by this thing, you can only have an idea of the thing which you will be getting out of 100. So you need to focus on first target, there are basically two targets. You need to bring your preparation in such a level that you are making yourself confident to cross this first cutoff of 30 to 35 and then try to reach to a range which will be in the vicinity of 60. If you are you are confident about 60, I can say yes, you can expect a decent marks in your gate, and that will be eventually giving you access to many of the premier institutes for your higher studies. I hope this particular thing is very important to understand, like how, because this is a very obvious question that what should be my target, what target should I do, is a 100 out of 100 or 20 of 30. So this particular thing I prefer to discuss because it will be definitely orienting you in what steps you will be taking your preparation. I hope this is pretty clear to you now. I would definitely look forward to having multiple interactions in future with you guys. All the best. Thank you.